This is how the tariffs, the dismantling of the Department of Education, and the planned drastic reductions in Social Security, Medicaid, and healthcare create the three deathly hallows of the Trump presidency. Hi, my name is Nathan, and I make long videos that are backed by tons of research and critical thinking. If you prefer 10-second videos, do not watch this video because I am not that creator, and there are plenty of creators who will do that for you. If you want to learn and have a short attention span, just hold down here and this video will play at 2x speed. Let's get into it. By now, we all understand that the tariffs are meant to bring back domestic manufacturing to the United States. In the long run, this is a good thing, but it definitely negatively impacts the lower and middle class. First off, manufacturing in the United States is very expensive, and we also don't have any manufacturing facilities in the United States to cover all of the companies that currently use overseas manufacturing to produce in the United States. We also don't have materials, textiles, machinery, all of those things are necessary to be able to manufacture here. Let's take a look at Tesla, who built a gigafactory in Texas. It took them 2 years to be able to build that. In addition to it taking Tesla 2 years, they also received over $1.1 billion in tax incentives from Texas and local municipalities. Today, over 3,000 U.S. companies use international manufacturing and import their goods. 99 out of the top 100 industrial corporations in the U.S. use international manufacturing. We don't have the land, we don't have the facilities, we don't have the materials, we don't have the machinery, and we definitely do not have the labor. Or do we? And this segues into the dismantling of the Department of Education. It has been a political agenda of Republicans to prevent white students from going to college for almost 30 years now. Why? Well, white voters tend to vote for Democrats at almost a 22-point margin. This is very bad for Republicans. So they try very, very hard to prevent white Americans from going to college. With the removal of federal funding that goes to public schools to be able to cover the percentage they need to be able to keep their schools open, this will directly impact poorer states who receive a higher percentage of the federal funding. States will struggle to be able to produce quality education in an already struggling environment, and I promise you that these local neighborhoods and local county residents will not vote to raise their property taxes to cover for this. So what does that have to do with domestic manufacturing? Well, currently it's estimated that undocumented immigrants currently make up anywhere between 39 to 61% of all blue-collar workers working in manufacturing, agricultural, and construction. We also have enough data from Brexit to know that if you prevent undocumented immigrants from being able to work blue-collar jobs, you will not be able to replace them. I think you get where I'm going with this by now. The solution is going to be teenage and young adult labor. Let's take a look at Louisiana that just received a $21 billion commitment to invest in the building of an electric steel manufacturing facility. First off, they received this investment from Hyundai. If you don't know what it's like to work for a Korean company, as a Korean, I can tell you, it's a lot. Korea ranks in the top at one of the worst stats that I cannot say because TikTok will suppress this video, but you should look up what happens to Korean workers who feel like they're overworked. Now, Louisiana also ranks 40th in our country in education. They're one of the worst. So why would a company like Hyundai choose Louisiana to build their factories? We all know the answer. First off, Louisiana permits 16-year-olds to drop out of high school and work full-time hours. Second, Louisiana abides by the national minimum wage rate, which is $7.25 per hour. Third, and here is the clincher, Louisiana does not require that employers pay full-time workers who are minors health care benefits or other benefits. Education suppression equals child labor. But let's circle back to the dismantling of healthcare, Social Security, and Medicaid, which makes up the third part of Trump's three deathly hallows. To build manufacturing facilities to cover 99 out of the top 100 industrial companies in our country, it's going to require either insane amount of local rebates, but it's also going to require federal government support. For example, Tesla received federal grants from our tax dollars to be able to build their first factories. There's no way around it that the federal government would have to provide grants or insane rebates in order to build more manufacturing in the US. But where is this money going to come from? That's where these cuts come in. Currently, Social Security, Medicaid, healthcare comprise about 50% of our entire federal budget. If the US wants to pay for domestic manufacturing and be able to provide incentives to do it, they're going to have to cut somewhere, and this is where they're going to cut. So, what does that mean for people who currently survive on Medicaid, Social Security, and need health care? You can do that deductive reasoning in your head. You might think that I am sensationalizing things and creating conspiracies. I personally believe that I am somebody who believes in deductive reasoning and critical thinking, and all I can see is the actions that are happening and try to come to conclusions about what this all means. It does to me feel like in order to make America great again, Trump simply has to reduce the number of Americans that he has to make it great for. If you appreciated this content, please let me know because I am practicing and testing out a few ideas for a very slowly developing podcast that I do plan on launching later this year. So please throw me a repost, a like, a comment, a share, all of the things along the side.